Jen. It is Monday morning and I haven't decorated my planner the past couple weeks, and I'm gonna, it's Monday morning, I'm groggy. I was making a to-do list, and it was the amount of stuff to get done this week was getting a little overwhelming, so I figured I'm going to stop and decorate a couple weeks of my planner, and I thought I would just chat with you guys while I'm doing that and talk about what I do with my planner and then just chit-chat. So, first of all, Mondays for me are usually a huge rest day to try and catch up on my rest from everyone being home over the weekend, but that might have to wait a little bit till tomorrow. There's a huge snowstorm coming. The kids will definitely be home tomorrow from what it looks like, and I'm gonna get this done and then run off to the grocery store to just get a couple necessities before the snow comes. So I am drinking my second cup of caffeinated coffee, which I usually just have one. Just to try and boost my energy a little bit. So when I do my planner, I do one of two things to kind of pick out my theme for the week. I either start with my washi tapes and pick out a couple of washi tapes that I want to use and then pick my like side embellishments to go with that, or I pick my embellishments and then pick washi tapes to go with those. So I did one of each this week. And then what I do is I take my pages and I just lay them out in front of me and lay my washi tapes down so that I can adhere them. I'll show you. So for what I did for this week was I picked out these washi tapes too. These two are fabric washi tapes, which are a little bit harder to use, but I do like them because I like the texture of them. And then I picked out a couple of cards that I had in my stash, and my absolute favorite ink, which is the Memento Angel Pink. And I'm just going to edge this card really quick with some to give it a little bit of color. And I'm going to try and give it extra in the corners. So, yes, Monday mornings for me are they're just usually rough because my body will only tolerate so much activity. And then what happens with my disease, not that I don't talk about this a whole lot, but what happens is my autonomic nervous system, which is the system in your body which takes care of everything on its own, will like start shutting down. So that affects my brain, it affects my heart, my breathing. Just as I get fatigued, those things start not working as well, and so I absolutely have to stop and catch up on rest. So a lot of times that's what I will do on Monday to try and rejuvenate. And then like last week, we had to travel to Boston for Anya's auditions, and it was the second weekend in a row that we had to do that. And I had to rest for like 3 days straight to try and catch up from that. So this fabric tape, you know, it has this backing on it, and that's what makes it a little bit more difficult to use. Make sure I'm in frame here. So, and when I usually just run a couple pieces across the top. I might not be totally in frame for everything, because what I do is I just stick it down to my table and run it across. This stuff doesn't rip as easily. We'll have the top of one in frame and the bottom of another in frame. So I just stick it to the table, and then when I'm all done, I pick it up and I will pick it up and cut it. Yeah, the fabric tape is not as forgiving, like it rolled over and stuck to each other. It'll be okay. It's not as forgiving as like the regular washi tape. Like once it sticks to itself, it's very difficult to get it to unstick. So I'm gonna do another video hopefully later today. I can also, we have this big snowstorm coming. I can feel it in my head. I woke up this morning with all this pressure in my head. I'm like, oh, the storm is coming. But if I have time today, I'm gonna do another video. I made some strung sequence cards last night, where I took some thread and strung sequins on it and then hung it on the card, and I really like the way that it came out. I saw something similar on Pinterest. And I love these little mini washi tapes. I believe I picked them up at Michael's a while ago. But I really like them. They're so cute. So I have no rhyme or reason to what I do. I just kind of will put stuff on there. And so then I just lift this up and flip it over and cut off all my little excess. So what else is going on? Anya got accepted to one ballet academy in New York City for the summer. She's been to 6 auditions and we've only heard back from 2. One she got accepted, one she didn't. They were her, those were her top 2 choices. She got accepted to her top choice. She did not get accepted to her second choice. And the ballet programs work, they're either usually like a 3-week program or a 4 or 5-week program. So if you go to a 3-week program, you know, typically then you can go to a second one. But it's really challenging to figure out, you know, where most of the programs she applied now are now going to conflict with her top choice. Her second choice was Carolina. She did not get into Carolina, and that program would have worked perfectly with the one she got into. So now we're trying to figure out what she's going to do and where she's going to go, and there we go. And then I had just picked this out, which I will probably just put, where am I going to put this? Maybe I'll put it over here, because I think I'm going to punch holes and put this card in my planner. So I will just attach this with some additional washi tape. And this is just, sometimes I use cards in here that I'm actually going to write on, but this one I'm just putting in there for aesthetic purposes, and we will just attach it with a little bit of washi tape there, and I'll put a tiny bit down here. Change my mind. I'm actually going to hold this and punch right through it so I make sure they're lined up. So that's going to go like that when I put it in the book. And I'm going to run just a tiny bit of ink around this one. So yeah, you guys, my Memento Angel Pink is, I would have to say, is my favorite ink for like the past few months. it really just like softens the edges of everything. There, so that's this week. And then we'll do one more week. And so for this one, do it like this. I picked out, I had forgotten a while ago, I think over the summer, I had picked up these little sticky notes with the little Paris theme. And so I grabbed some Paris stickers I had. I'm going to use this one here in the middle. And then I went to my washi teeps and grabbed these ones. So I'm going to do the same thing. I will probably fast forward this if I can. I've never fast forwarded before, but I am going to try and figure out how to do that. Off my craft table. I was making glittered flowers over there last night. It's a mess. And see, now you can see like these pages are really nice and sturdy having the washi tape on the top and bottom. There, wait, something's not right there. And then I am going to just add a couple sticky notes. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. So let me show you really quick. I know what happens too when I start working and I'm trying to talk at the same time is my voice gets quiet. So you guys probably have a hard time hearing me. Cute, cute. And I'm going to put a couple of these on here. And a blue one. There. So I have all my weeks done. So let's put them back in. Oh. Frame here. I really like doing a couple weeks at a time so that I'm done for the week. Let me put this in here. So we have this week, and then next week, and then I'll probably put maybe, I don't know, I'll just stick this in here for now. This card's so cute. So, yeah, there it is. Okay, guys, have a super great week. I'll talk to you later. One more thing I wanted to show you guys, I was just getting ready to start filling out my planner, and I put my little shopping list sticky note here, but isn't this the cutest bag? So now I have my planner, I have my embellishment bag, and I have been using my friction pens. I did a video on these, which I just absolutely love. I cannot recommend them enough for a planner because of the fact that they erase. So if you're interested in seeing that, maybe I'll link the video below on that. But I was, when we were in Boston last weekend, We were in, I think it's Copley Square, and we had a couple hours to waste, and there was a paper source store there, and I am on a spending freeze, and I'm doing really, really well on it. I don't feel the need to go to the craft stores right now at all. I'm really just using my stash and super trying to save money for Anya. However, this bag was on clearance, and I've been looking for a bag that kind of coordinates with my stuff to put my pens in. And so this is the Papaya Art Company, and so I picked up this little bag that like completely matches my planner and says happy on it, and has this little toggle, or this little, not toggle, but this thing on it, and I love it. I love it. It's so cute. So one thing I want to mention about using a planner, so I kind of went through, filled out my stuff for this week. I have a few more things to add, and I put my, whatever pen I'm using for the week, I just put over in the little holder over here. But I know some people have messaged me and said, you know, I don't have time to do a planner, or I'm not organized enough to do the planner. Here's the thing with using a planner, and I think a lot of us probably know this already, but I was feeling very overwhelmed this morning as I was just making a little to-do list on a index card. But now that I've decorated my planner and written everything down that I need to do, I feel, even though I have like a lot to do today, and is that if I don't get these things done today, I just bump them to the next day. But I don't feel overwhelmed anymore. And, you know, I have the same amount of stuff to do, but because I have it written down and I can check it off, and as I'm thinking of other things I need to do, that I can write them down, or things that I need from the store, I feel a lot less overwhelmed. And so I think that's the key to having a planner, any type of planner, is writing it down, being able to check it off, knowing what you still have to do. Yeah, so it totally changes, I think, for me anyway, the way that I, you know, may feel overwhelmed, and then just don't feel overwhelmed because I can take it out of my, I know it's out of my brain, I know it's written down, I know if it's written down in here, it will eventually get done, even if it's not today, it will get done because I'll move it to the next day, or the next day, or yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.